I'm Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. So, this week we had two events. We had AEW All Out 2025, and like WWE loves to do, after they announce that they're going to do something, they like to put something on that same weekend. In this case, the same day. We had the very first WWE WrestlePalooza, which was also going to kick off WWE being on ESPN, and it was held in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's get into it. The opening match, the returning Brock Lesnar versus John Cena on his retirement tour. In the beginning of the match, Paul Heyman came out, making it very clear that he is realigned with Brock Lesnar. There's rumors that Brock Lesnar is going to be a part of the Vision. I guess we'll see. As far as the match itself, it was a good old-fashioned, let's make Lesnar look like he's unbeatable piece of garbage. It was exactly what we were worried it was going to be. It was him basically tossing John Cena all over the place and getting an easy win. Like, John Cena got in a little bit of offense, but still. I don't know what their obsession with making Brock Lesnar look like he can't be beaten, even though we've seen his UFC career, he can be. I'm not saying he's not a beast, I'm not saying he's not a fighter, but he's been beaten, and I don't get why they have to keep shoving that down our throats. Like everybody else that they love and nobody else does. This match was crap, and I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5. But now to pick things up, the Usos versus the Vision's Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It was good. LA Knight was a special guest referee, and he did not really enforce the rules that much. In fact, it basically turned into a hardcore match, which he was doing, of course, to help the Usos, but that kind of backfired as Braun Breaker ended up getting a double spear onto both Usos through a table set up in the corner, which led to Bronson Reed getting the tsunami onto Jey Uso, getting the pin and the win for he and Braun Breaker. Like I said, it was a good match, there's nothing to complain about. I wouldn't say it quite got a 4, but a very good solid 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then, for the vacant Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer challenging former champion Io Sky. As we know, Stephanie Vaquer had won the right to challenge for the Women's World Championship at Clash in Paris. But before Clash in Paris, Naomi announced that she was pregnant and had to vacate the championship. So now we're going to finally decide who the next champion is. The match itself was awesome. Just a very competitive, story-driven match. It was so good. Just a great wrestling match between two awesome wrestlers. There was the story of Stephanie Vaquer was really going after Io Sky's knee, which is, essential to her. Her finisher is a top rope moonsault. And you saw the desperation as Io Sky pulled down both of her knee pads, exposing the knees, just to get a little bit more oomph on running those knees into Stephanie Vaquer's face. But this backfired, as Io Sky went up to do the over the moonsault, but with no padding on her knees. When Stephanie Vaquer rolled out of the way, she landed too hard on them, which led to Stephanie Vaquer doing her corkscrew spinal tap thing that she does from the top rope, which got her the pin, the win, and Stephanie Vaquer is the new WWE Women's World Champion. And with the line of people coming up after her, I am so excited for this. It would honestly would have been great no matter who won, but I'm glad with who won. Can't wait to see what goes on with this. This match was match of the night, and it's a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Then a mixed tag team match of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and the returning AJ Lee. This match was great. It was a mixed tag team match, which generally means that the women fight the women, the men fight the men, but that kind of went out the window. With things like Becky Lynch constantly attacking CM Punk, AJ Lee getting the Black Widow onto Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch later getting the sharpshooter on CM Punk. It was really crazy and chaotic, but like I talk about, it was the good one. The one where you don't want to look away because you might miss something. And it even ended well, as AJ Lee got the Black Widow onto Becky Lynch, causing her to tap out, getting the win for her and her husband CM Punk. And making us wonder what's going to happen in the future. We'll see. This match, though, like I said, it was awesome. It was crazy. I would give this another 5 out of 5. Then the main event for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre challenging Cody Rhodes. It was good, but it wasn't great. Honestly, I've heard the criticism that this could have just been a SmackDown main event, and I'm sorry to say I kind of agree. At one point, Drew McIntyre tried to do the Claymore to Cody's head into the announce table like he'd done previously on SmackDown, But this time, Cody Rhodes got out of the way, causing Drew to hurt his leg going in the announce table. And that led to Cody Rhodes being able to get Drew into the ring, do the crossroads, get the pin, and retain his WWE Championship. Which, again, I'm glad about that. I like Cody Rhodes as the champion. But, I don't know. The match just kind of had a feeling of this wasn't that important. It was a good match, though. Nothing wrong with it. I would give it a 3 out of 5. So, the very first WWE WrestlePalooza overall was just okay. I will say this, it started very weak, and it ended a little weak. Like, there was only 5 matches, and out of them there were 2 3s, 2 5s, and a 1. The 1 hurts it. I am so sick and tired of the way that they build up Brock Lesnar, that I was sick and tired of it even though he's been gone for a couple of years. Honestly, I kind of wanted him to stay gone. But he gets back, and my worry was that they were going to do the exact same crap they'd been doing, where they make him look like he's Achilles, he's unbeatable, and that's exactly what they're doing. And to do that to John Cena, I get this is probably going to lead up to more matches, and who knows, maybe he'll come out on top, I don't know. But to do that to John Cena on his retirement tour, to have him lose in such a way like that, that's just ridiculously disrespectful. And again, why? Because you want to give somebody accolades that they don't really deserve. Like I said, Brock Lesnar is big and he's good, but he's not unbeatable, and I wish they would stop it. But that's what WWE does with certain superstars that people aren't responding to. They say, I don't care, I'm going to keep pushing it down your throats. I.e. Logan Paul and Jade Cargill. The Usos versus The Vision, it was good, it just wasn't anything special, and I kind of felt like that one could have been on Raw. The mixed tag team match, whereas normally I like the champion to defend his title, it worked because this time it was big. It was AJ Lee's return, and it was a great match. Not to mention with the way it ended, I feel like this could lead up to Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship, and that would be cool. The main event I felt was the wrong match to be on there. Honestly, it wouldn't have hurt so much if the Drew McIntyre Cody Rhodes match was in the middle and the Women's World Championship was the main event. Because ultimately we were more into that than we were into this thrown together rivalry. And which is what it felt like. It felt like they threw it together at the last minute just so that there was a WWE Championship match at WrestlePalooza. Which, okay, but again, it could have been earlier in the night. The main event was the Women's Championship match. And because of that, the execution of it, like I said, the criticism has been that this could have been a SmackDown main event, and whereas I normally don't like to listen to the criticism, I couldn't help but agree with that. The Women's World Championship match, we were much more into that. The seeing if they were going to give it to Stephanie Vaquer or have Io Sky regain it, and the match itself was so great. It was so much drama in the match. It was such a great story being told, and I can't wait to see what goes on with it. The actual main event to me was a throwaway main event. Because now, the next main event at Crown Jewel is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship, which, cool, but, it just felt like they just needed to give Cody Rhodes something to do. So, that overall, even with the 2 5s, the fact that the 2 most important matches of the night, the one that opens and the one that closes, one was complete crap, and the other one was just a little lackluster. I gotta say that bumps it down to where there's no way I could give WrestlePalooza a 5 or even a 4. But I will say I don't think it's as bad as people have been saying. I would say it earned its solid 3 out of 5. Yeah! So yeah, but that's my wrestling reviews this week. Hope you guys enjoyed them. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of WWE WrestlePalooza. Tell me if you think it's worth getting the ESPN app. Love you guys.